a new fit. It's interesting because when you're having different perspectives in life, your awareness is changing, your perspective is changing, your outlook on life is changing, and you're going through this waking up phase. What happens is you find yourself no longer, like, the things around you or things that used to fit in your life no longer fit. But it's hard because you've been operating on the things that used to fit for, like, you know, your whole life pretty much. So how do you adjust to that? You know, how do you change along with the perspective change, like outwardly? I'll give you an example. So, you know, when you get older, your body changes and, you know, things change and, you know, and things don't fit the same that they used to, clothing wise, or, you know, and I've been really struggling with that because I used to fit in a certain size and things used to fit me a certain way. And I'm still, for the longest time, been trying to make what doesn't fit me anymore work. So what happens is I find myself uncomfortable. I find myself in a place where I'm not feeling good in my skin. I'm not feeling good in my clothes. I'm not feeling good, you know, and I've always pretty much felt pretty great at different sizes throughout my life. But right now things are different and things fit me differently. And so you get to a point where you have to start accepting where you're at, accepting the space that you're in. And like with my fit, you know, clothes fitting a certain way, I have to come to a place where things are different now, you know. And it's hard to accept that because if you've been kind of basically the same, or, you know, you've always made it work over time, maybe you lost a size, maybe you lost a size, maybe you know, grew a size, but it will always seem to work. But when it gets to a point where you're uncomfortable in your environment, uncomfortable in your clothes, uncomfortable in your space, how do you adjust to that? You know, how do you accept it? Gotta at some point grow with the changes. And, you know, like for me, and I'm again talking about clothing or things that I wear, things are not fitting the same anymore, but I'm trying to make the old things that I used to wear work. And they're not. They're uncomfortable. They don't fit me right. I don't feel like I look great in them. So you got to get to a point where you're like, okay, I just want to be comfortable and still look great. You know, I haven't felt like that because I've been trying to make something fit that doesn't fit anymore. So you got to accept, I have to accept that I'm in a different place now. My body is different now and everything fits differently. So now when I shop for clothes, when I fit things, I go to the size that I know will work instead of trying to fit into a size that used to work. And the same thing goes for when your whole life perspective is changing. You know, it's like things around you don't fit anymore. There's a period of time where you start to adjust to that and start to realize, whoa, this isn't working for me. And that could be people, it could be a situation like a work or many different things that don't fit anymore. And you don't have to change that overnight, but there is a part of accepting it and realizing that you are different now. Your perspective, your outlook, everything that you are experiencing is different. And so you're gonna notice that the old things don't fit the same way that they used to. Acceptance is a really tough thing because we're so used to things being certain ways. And when they change, it takes a while to like let it all settle in and let it be. And, while you may be feeling great in your awareness and where you're at, the people around you or the environment around you may not be feeling it or accepting it. So it's not just about, it's almost like the people that are in your life don't accept it, or your environment doesn't accept it. How do you adjust to that? The only thing you can really do is accept yourself in where you're at, because people around you, environment, things can change. But you will always be in your body and your mind and your soul, and nobody else is going to live that for you. Nobody else is going to go on that path for you or go on that journey with you necessarily. So hope that makes sense. Again, when you find yourself in this new fit or this new environment or this new space, not everything still fits the same that it used to. And that's okay. It's okay if things are changing around you and you're going to maneuver around that in your own way. Where you're at right now in this very moment is the perfect place to be. And so, this is your life, this is your choice, and you get to choose how you want your environment to be and the space around you and how things fit into your life. You get to choose that. And it doesn't have to change overnight, but awareness is key. Being aware of what no longer fits where. That already is a huge change. That's already a huge perspective change in where you're at. Look at how beautiful it is out today. Oh my goodness. When you're finding yourself in a new state of awareness and in a new place, in a new perspective, you're gonna find that things in your life no longer seem to always work. I'm sure that you've already been through a ton of changes in your life, and things have changed and moved on. And big things I'm sure that you've gone through that have changed. And when you get comfortable in your life and then you start finding yourself changing because of your awareness and because of your perspective, it's kind of like, oh, I was so comfortable. I was so everything was working out, and now it doesn't feel right anymore. And the more you get in tune with higher frequency and more stepping into your own light, the more that you start to become, aware of the things that don't fit that. So, yeah, it's just a very interesting perspective. Where you're at in this very moment, it's okay. You don't have to make sudden changes. Sometimes noticing it is okay. Noticing that it took me a long time, like I said, with clothing, to notice what I'm doing and that I'm trying to make something work and fit that doesn't anymore. So, and it's like this, I just wasn't okay with it. I wasn't okay with my body changing in that way, and had a lot of emotions and feelings around it because it sucks. Because I always wanted to be a certain way and I'm not. And so that's also loving yourself. And that's a whole nother thing. Self-confidence and having self-love for where you're at. When you start to look at things differently, you start to be different. You start to stand out differently, especially if you start speaking about it. People around you will look at you that aren't maybe aware yet or aren't growing yet in that way. They're going to look at you like, what? That, huh? And so then you start to feel like, oh, I don't know. But it's so true to you that you want to express it. You want to talk about it. You want to find people that are growing in that way and on that path, so you can have conversations about it and feel good. And that's okay too. you know, it's evolving. We're evolving. We are evolving as the human, you know, we are evolving. And when you're evolving and changing, you know, the things that used to be true no longer are any more in your space. And so there's a period of time where you have to adjust and look at things in a way where, you know, you own it, you believe it, you are in it to win it. Anyway, hope this all makes sense. Sometimes when I'm thinking about these things, it all comes to me, and then when I'm actually making the video, I'm like, did that like come out like the way that it was in my mind when I first started thinking about these things? Just remember, wherever you're at in this very moment, you are perfect, you are amazing, you matter. And, you know, accepting yourself and loving yourself in this very moment, and that can be fleeting sometimes too. But in this very moment, when you look at yourself or when you're noticing yourself, love yourself. Give yourself grace and love. That is key. And when you can do that on a regular basis, you know, things will adjust around you without you having to do anything. It just will. So, you know, this is... I wanted to wish you an incredible, amazing day. This day is absolutely stunning. I mean, oh my gosh, look at this beautiful day. I feel so blessed. I feel blessed to be able to share these messages with you. And yeah, you know, if it doesn't fit anymore, that's okay. Because a new frequency is coming. And you know, being aware of where you're at and accepting where you're at is a huge thing that gets you in that, you know, gets you feeling like you're finally fitting in your own skin and in your own soul. And that's really what it's about. So, wishing you an amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Share it if you feel like it's gonna, you know, affect somebody in some way, or hit, you know, make sense to somebody that's struggling with this as well. And yeah, what an amazing day. Have a great day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.